Good morning and welcome to the Healer's Connection, the show that helps you connect with the tools and the power and the practitioners that can help to transform your life so that you can have a better life. And I'm Dr. Michelle Petacola, founder of Secrets of Life and Death and Second Chance Secrets, helping change makers and leaders to step into their authentic power so that they can have a true and valuable impact in this world. Today, I want to begin with an intention setting exercise to help you get the most out of our little show today, for you to take a moment to find out what it is that you need right here, right now. I noticed that when I set intentions, I'm much more likely to have them work, to come to fruition. And also, I like to think that every person that we come in contact with, we either have something to give them or they have something to give us. We will begin by closing your eyes or gentling your eyes and taking deep, slow, relaxing breaths. Breathing in with your nose and exhaling with your mouth. Breathing into the count of 5 and exhaling. And with each inhale, bringing in all the love of the universe. And with each exhale, releasing all that is used up, that is no longer needed, letting it flow out through the soles of your feet into the ground, where it can be reutilized in a new form. And this time, I want you to focus inward, focusing on your body and noticing if there is any place in your body that is calling your attention. It could be your head, your neck, your shoulders, your heart, your belly, your feet. When you found that place, I want you to breathe that love of the universe into that area, filling it with that elixir of light. Letting that place that feels maybe not quite right, a little stuck, maybe even painful, maybe big stuck, letting it know that you are here, right now, ready to pay attention. And now I want you to ask that part of yourself what that part needs from you right now. What can you pull into this meeting today that will be exactly what that part of your body needs? So take a moment to check in and notice any thoughts, any words, song, vision, anything that comes to your mind, and grab a hold of it. Don't try and perfect it, but do ask a question or several questions to make it more real, more full. And then taking 3 more breaths. And in the 3rd breath, opening your eyes and bringing yourself back into the room. And I want to ask our 2 guest speakers to share their intention for this show today. I'm going to begin by asking Cia what her intention is. And Cia, just to let you know who she is an integrative somatic trauma healing practitioner and hypnotherapist in private practice for over 30 years. Cia, I'm going to bring you on the stage. Hold on. And please share with our group what your intention is for our interview today.
Yes, thank you so much, Cynthia, for that beautiful intro. We're gonna get lots of relaxation today. You know, I was working with this, not too much, just trying to, just wanting it to come through, like, what is this thing? And it's basically, I want everybody to know that they are valuable. That's so important to me. And it's that particular word is a big key word for myself. And so what I want to share today is about breathing consciously, about becoming aware of our bodies, and starting to feed into the mind really beautiful, high vibration energy experiences that we can cultivate and expand inside of us, so that then we have this, like Dr. Phil used to say, a soft place to land. And I kind of a little embarrassed that I watched that, but I tuned in every once in a while. And so we need that, like building a reservoir, a big, amazing, luscious place where we can feel safe with ourselves. And that's what I strive to do.
Awesome. Well, you're going to be back on in a few moments. I'm going to just check in with Cynthia, and then we will get started with the main show.
Great.
And Cynthia, I want to give a little bit of an introduction to you so you know where to place her in the universe. She is an international speech coach and global visibility influencer. And she advocates that your people are waiting for you and even praying for you. Cynthia, please share with our guests what your intention is for this show today.
Thank you, Michelle. Well, first, I want to welcome Rosemary from Dominica and Abdullah from Pakistan. So this is an international call. Very exciting. And everywhere I go, it seems an international following follows me. So my intention is exactly what you said, that everyone on this call and listening to this recording know, see, and even feel the people that are waiting for them. Because like your thumbprint, it's unique. Every human that has ever lived and will ever live has a unique thumbprint. And you have a unique message. Even if you're a photographer or a graphic designer where there's thousands of you, you are unique. And there are people waiting for you, even praying for you. And you are the answer to their prayers. And that is my deepest desire and purpose and intention for today and every day, that you know your people are waiting for you.
Thank you, Cynthia. That is beautiful. I'm going to remove the spotlight, and I'm going to now introduce Sia, who is our first guest speaker, and I'm going to be asking her questions, and then there will be time in about 15 minutes when, if you have questions, you can ask her personally, or if you want to go ahead and put your questions in the chat, I will ask them as we go along. So a little bit about Sia. I already mentioned that she was a psychosomatic or somatic trauma healer and also hypnotherapist. She uses hypnosis for immediate stress reduction and relaxation, and is an expert in trauma healing. She's not a doctor. She assists each client in opening to their self-love and acceptance so they can heal from the inside. I would assume that that is not a typo, an inside out. She also uses somatic touch therapy, which focuses body awareness on the areas of physiological constriction in order to release stuck energy. She believes in the power to self-heal. I'm going to invite you to the stage again. Sia, welcome to Healers Connection. I'm so happy to have you here.
Yeah, thanks so much again, Michelle. It's really great to be here. And good morning to everyone. Thank you all for showing up. 9 o'clock is not, go ahead.
Let me begin by asking you a question.
Oh, okay.
Okay. And trust me, I will hold you in a very good way. So the first question I have is, you work with people who have trauma. What brought you to that kind of work? That is pretty intense work.
It is. And often when we share this kind of, when I share this information with somebody, they say, geez, isn't that hard? It used to be hard for me. I was very invested in the outcome of my clients. And I actually had to pause myself and check out of that for a while, because I recognized I really needed to do more healing work for myself. And so it's not tiresome for me at all. I'm really good about being, 110% present. My clients, when I find myself, my human self gets a little anxious. My body's reacting when someone comes in with, they just, they were held at gunpoint, or their brother was really rude to them at a family gathering, or they were in a car accident. And I'm, part of me is like, oh my God, how am I going to help this person? And other way worse things. And then I know that's my cue to come back into myself.
So you didn't tell me how you got into this, or why.
Well,
did you have
that
trauma?
was a little example of what happened. Yeah, did I have trauma? That would be, we could be here for days. Crises, trauma. Something I like to say is, I was born into a Hispanic family. I'm the oldest girl child, so that's number one strike against me, right? I am so I'm female, I'm the oldest, and I'm Catholic. So it's 1, 2, 3 strikes, I'm out. I don't have a chance. So all the trauma that I was seeing around me, difficulties with family, gossip and conflict. Fortunately, it was very difficult at the time, but fortunately, it was sort of the instigator to me learning that I really needed to come inside. And even as the youngest child, my earliest memories are, I loved the beach. We'd vacation at the beach often. And that was my sanctuary. I just remember feeling like just all that mattered was the seashore and these little tiny, like thumbnail pink shells that seemed to be everywhere, and flowers and animals, especially cats. We had cats. I just adore cats. So
was there somebody special that helped you to realize that this was your mission, to help others?
It's what I understand is that there was nobody like literal that did that. My grandma had 11 children. And my father, he didn't even know his mother died when he was very young, and he never knew his father. So I didn't really have any family on that side. But I believe it was my mother that and she'd been very ill as a child. So she wasn't really very present in she was there doing all the wonderful housekeeping things. The house was always neat, there was home cooked meals, but she wasn't present. She was definitely sort of preoccupied. I think just dealing with all the things that she had to deal with.
How many children were there?
There were just 4 in my immediate family, but I also have 2 older brothers that I never met until I was 40 from my father's first marriage.
I see.
So, yeah, I had to, well, I didn't have to, because a lot of people don't, but it helped me kind of grow through all of that and recognize that, a couple of things I want to mention. I don't know if any of you remember, but the Sword and the Stone, that story. I mean, that one just spoke so loudly to me that, you know, we have that power. There's a way somehow. As a child, I had no clue how that could be, but it really, I really believed that it was possible. And then the other stories as a child were the Arabian Nights, which a lot of people I mentioned to, and they didn't read those. But there was this magic that always happened. Somehow things would, you know, come together, and it just had such an impression on me of that possibility. So my mom gave me this intuition ability psychically, is what I believe.
That's important.
Yeah.
That's important. So you have a slew of certifications: somatic experience trauma healing, heart math, we want to know what that is, holistic nutrition consultant, certified hypnotherapist, shiatsu acupressure, and lay ministry. You have really accumulated a lot of certifications.
Yeah, it was just happened, you know, through the years, through my life. It first started for me with really, again, feeling this sort of actually like an obligation to help people. And so at first I was attracted to psychology and philosophy, just thought, oh, you know, I just have to find the answer. And then I discovered, actually through the Holistic Health Handbook, I was trying to remember what first opened my mind to this more stuff. And through food, I became a vegetarian, and that led me to spirituality. And then I thought, spirituality, that's it, right? That's everything. Well, it's not everything. It's a lot, but it was really, you know, I discovered that it was a blend of many different resources and backgrounds and pulling those together. So I think that's what led me to all of that different exploration. So I feel like I'm really equipped to, you know, welcome and sit with people from just about any, you know, symptom that they're experiencing.
Right, that you have a tool for them in your toolbox.
Yeah, and I've been through it.
And you've been through it, which is really important. It's really important.
Yeah.
I remember when I was a practitioner in a grief support group for people who had lost their partners. And if it hadn't been for the fact that my first husband had left me, I would not have known how to relate to them. But having gone through that, I had the experience. And you really do want a practitioner who knows what you're going through, because otherwise, how can they help you?
Right, right.
So you mentioned breath. So breath is really important. And I totally get it. My spiritual teacher was totally all about breath. Breath is your connection to divine.
Exactly. And so when I say I want people to know their value, a lot of times people are like, whoa, you know, they don't have a sense of that, which is kind of tragic because we're all valuable. I like to say we were all born perfect and precious. The problem is we didn't get to have that experience for very long due to our, you know, parents or caregivers that just never had a chance to heal themselves. So it's nobody's fault, right? Like Louise Hay says, we're just victims of victims, and we can change that. And so breathing, now some people don't even like to breathe. That's too scary. But to tune into their lungs, their chest, you know, their heart, their body, it can be frightening. So I just really coax them, you know, just really hold a loving space. Like, it's okay, we're breathing anyway. How about we breathe in a way that's really going to benefit us? And I love what you said about the 5 second. That is what heart math teaches. I had been teaching for a long time to invite the mind to come and rest in the heart center. And turns out, I mean, they have tons of research now, and they've actually had it for over 30 years, that when we breathe from our heart center and couple it with an elevated emotion, like recalling a moment, you know, when you just felt so, you know, happy, joyful, peaceful, connected, because that's the energy, it's in us. It may seem like it's coming from the environment, from the relationships, but our body is experiencing it. Our body knows that way of being. So with the breath, nice and easy. I even have I made some little hearts that I have clients use to put on their chest to really help them make the connection. And the more that we place our hand on our heart center, you know, it helps make that connection again. There's many ways, and I think we need tons of them, or a lot of us need tons of them, to really help us maintain that attunement with, you know, the inner self, inner truth. So this is something that not everybody knows, and this is what HeartMath teaches specifically. So as we breathe, a nice slower inhale, and that nice slower exhale. It calms the nervous system. Actually, it can reset the nervous system. And what happens then is the message. So there's more information going from the heart to the brain than from the brain to the body. So the brain is taking a lot of cue from the heart. So the more
Isn't that
we
interesting?
do, yeah,
that is so amazing.
Yeah, that's still filtering slowly into the, you know, sort of the
Culture.
common consensus. Yeah.
Well, it's
very
interesting.
important. Yeah.
And
so then the brain, you know, produces the good feeling chemicals that shower through our body, rather than the fight, flight, freeze when we're breathing short and the body is on alert saying, oh, you know, where's the next danger? You know, it's my neighbor, it's my mother-in-law, father-in-law, you know, whomever. And so we're like always in this hyper arousal, and then we're getting that shower of chemicals that's basically toxic in the body because it's really difficult to release it all the way out.
Well, the purpose of it, I mean, you know, is to, of course, protect you from, you know, saber-toothed tigers, and it's there for a reason, but it's not supposed to stay in your body. And that's the error that we make, is that when we are in continuous stress, we're literally breaking down the body. It's like too much of those chemicals. So yeah. So learning how to use the breath is a real valuable tool for people to release their stress and be in a better state of mind, to have better thoughts. Is that right?
Exactly. Well, it allows us to become aware in the moment, is something I believe you mentioned also. So, you know, without awareness, that's another kind of layer of our foundation. So I can even just be aware of, oh, I'm breathing short. Or a lot of people say, oh, I forget to breathe. Well, of course, we're still breathing, but we're breathing in that toxic producing manner. So slowing down, then we can start to become aware of our surroundings. Oh, in fact, I am okay in this moment.
In this moment,
I'm okay. I am safe. Most of us, not everybody, blessings to all of them, but a lot of us are really okay in the moment. And so pairing that with what I've narrowed it into, which is the number 4 actually stands for foundation, is 4 practices. So being aware of your environment while you breathe from your heart center, grabbing, you know, recalling that uplifting, high energetic, you know, emotional state. Then the LA hug, love and acceptance. And we can love and accept ourselves anytime we want, all day long. So important. So
awesome.
body connection.
Yeah.
It's great and wonderful and also necessary to have physical contact with others, but we don't need to wait. We can do it ourselves.
That's
and really appreciate,
that's
the
really
whole
valuable.
body. And then weaving in, because they all go together, it's affirmations as we generally know them, but it's the energy of the words we use, not just saying a word. I am happy, I am wealthy, I am healthy, but what does that feel like? What does happiness feel like in your body? And then being able to notice when we're having that subconscious, critical chatter going on through the day, moment to moment, generally. We want to start shifting that to, what do I really want to hear? What do I want? What do I need? Right.
Right. Some people don't even know, though.
They don't.
I mean, if you spend all your life trying to get approval from other people, you never even stop to think, what is it that I want, or even know how to identify it. It's a whole
Exactly.
new learning that you often
Right.
have to work on. And that involves, as you say, getting into your body, being able to read your body responses. And some people are so traumatized, they're terrified to go into their bodies.
Exactly. So one of the ways that I approach that when people are just like, oh, it's whatever abuses they've experienced, is, we can always be like the director, right? Or the author of a story. We can write down as if it were someone else. We can project it like on a screen or on a stage. I'm watching this person, and how would I really have wanted this to unfold?
That sounds like NLP.
Well, it's actually from hypnosis is where I learned it.
Oh,
But yes,
interesting.
NLP is part of this because we're paying attention to the language, we're paying attention to all parts of it and all of our senses. We want to engage all of our senses.
Well, and you want to, as you say, become the author of the experience that you have.
Yes.
And the thoughts or the story that you hold in your head has a huge, more impact than what's actually happening out there in the world, is your interpretation of it. So it's really valuable what you're doing. Well, I want to move over to Cynthia, but before I do that, if anybody has any questions for Cia, please put it in the chat. We will open up the lines later on. And also, Cia, is there some way in which people can get connected with you? Is there something that you are offering this morning that you could go ahead and mention it and put it in the
You want me to just put it in the chat?
Yeah, the chat.
Okay.
But say something about it while you're doing that.
Sure. Okay. So yes, I am offering a affirmation card that has at the top it says you are valuable, or no, actually says I am valuable. And then the space at the top in the center, you put your own name. And there are just some lovely affirmations underneath. And this can have a profound effect. Like I suggest you place, you can download it, of course, print it out, place it by your bedside so that you see it every day. You can make multiple copies, put them on your fridge or anywhere else. And I won't be reaching out and trying to get you to make an appointment with me or anything. You can, if you want to, you can click on my website and contact me there. And I'll be happy to talk to you.
Awesome. Cia, such a pleasure to speak with you. Don't go away. I'll be bringing you back on later. And I'm going to introduce Cynthia Stott, who is our next speaker. And Cynthia has an amazing story, which she tells right up front. For nearly 40 years, she had 6 strong phobias, including public speaking and visibility. She overcame her fear and turned her phobias into passions. She's an international speech and confidence coach, a global visibility influencer who has over 47,000 followers in 140 countries. She is a sought-after and award-winning speaker, international best-selling author, and an avid hiker of her waterfall steps in San Francisco's Golden Gate Park. Without further delay, let me bring Cynthia to the stage. Cynthia, it is my pleasure and delight to have you on my stage today. So I want to begin by asking you, why is speaking so important?
When I was a little girl, I constantly heard the message, the earth's in trouble and you need to help. And I thought, what can I do? I'm terrified of everything. No way. I can't do anything. When I was in college, my nickname was Miss Wiggles because my whole body shook and my lips quivered and I could barely get my words out of my mouth. And I not only turned red, I turned purple and I almost passed out. I was terrified. And even my best friend identified me as a wuss, not because she was being mean, but because it was true. And so when I got a message laid on my heart, the first words out of my mouth were, I better get to Toastmasters because I need to learn how to speak and share my message.
Yeah. Awesome. And you have become a phenomenal speech trainer and coach, teaching people not only how to tell stories, but how to tell them from your heart. And you are amazing. In fact, I'm personal recipient of that divine guidance. Thank you.
Beautiful. What a blessing.
Really a big blessing. And you just don't know. Most people don't have any idea of what the difference is unless you experience it. When you really speak from your heart, when you really speak from who you really are, when you finally break through all those fears about being yourself and step into who you really are. It's amazing. And you do it. You help people get there. What is the World Championship of Public Speaking? Let's talk about that. And why would I want to compete even if I don't like competition?
And that's what a lot of people tell me, especially healers with the healer's heart. I don't want to compete. I'm not a competitor, but it's really not competing as in, I'm going to win. I'm going to push you out of the way. If you speak your message in your best way, from your heart, touching lives, that's a win. And the win with the world champion is it starts at the club level and you get to share your message with your club. It goes to your area, which you've experienced this. Yeah, and if you win at the club, you go to the area, which is like 5 clubs, and you get a bigger audience to speak your message. And then if you win at the area, you go to the division, then there's like 20 clubs and lots of people, and you get to share your message with more people. And then if you win at the division, which you did last night, amazing, Michelle, you were phenomenal.
Thank you.
And you really spoke from your heart, and you really spoke to the people that were there, that were present. And now you get to go on to the district level, which will have probably 500 people in the audience, maybe more, because I'm trying to bring some big celebrities, and we might get up to 1,000 people.
And I'm so glad I won't have to see any of them because I'll be on Zoom. Yeah. So I just wanted to let people know, because they're maybe still questioning, to speak on a contest, is that the process of honing your speech is a process of healing and transformation. I was changing my speech up to the morning of the contest. I mean, up until the lunchtime of the contest, changing the final bits as I was growing into the speech. It's amazing. It's such an experience. You guys have no idea, if you are not speakers, how speaking in and of itself can be healing.
And
So
transformational for you and for
transformational.
people. I wanted to share, though, what happens after the district level, because there's a quarterfinals, a semifinals, and then if you make it past those, you're one of like 10 people. Speaking last year, 30,000 people online. 30,000 people. Your message you can share with those people from all around the world. 149 countries will be present, because that's the footprint of Toastmasters International. And if you win, that's wonderful. You get a big trophy. And I think you make at least $50,000 from all of the presentations that you're going to be booked for. It will really raise your credibility. Even walking through the airport, one of the speakers had his big trophy and he attracted all this attention. So the world champion at public speaking. But the main thing is that you get to share your message, your heartfelt message that's deep inside you can come out and transform not only you, but your people who are waiting for you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So do explain to me what happens next after the district level. There's the quarters, and you use the speech from right now, the recording of the speech from the district is the quarter. And then
Yes.
At the actual event, you go through semifinals and then the finals. Is that correct?
Yes.
And when do you have to come up with a new speech?
At the last moment. When you step onto that world champion stage, you have to have a new speech. So you have to prepare that new speech months
Ahead of time.
ahead.
Yeah.
When you win the district conference, you should immediately start on your new speech.
I already have an idea. I already have one. So you guys are probably wondering, why are we talking about speaking? And all I can say is it is one of the most amazing paths to healing, because you do a lot of inner work, and that the process of allowing yourself to be seen in front of other people and speak your truth is just amazing. And I have another question for you. How do I know that people are waiting for me and my message, and even praying for me? What, it's like, sell this speaking thing. I'm selling it because it's actually healing, but whoops, what's that? Somebody is unmuted. Hold on. Okay, got it. All right. So go ahead and sell speaking as the way to make your impact, to make a difference in the world, to really fulfill your soul's purpose.
Yes, absolutely. And I want to say, at the core of my being, I am a healer. And I have been trained. I too can wallpaper my walls with all those certifications and trainings. I'm a Reiki master, and a Theta healing practitioner, and a yoga instructor, martial arts instructor, brain education instructor. I trained all over the world, including the mountaintops of Korea.
Wow.
And that work that I do, that inner work that I do, I use speaking for my clients to kind of scare up their doubts, their fears, their worries. Then I go inside and we do a deep dive at what I call a future gazing session. And this is usually about 3 hours long. And we go really deep into who you are and what's stopping you from shining your light and being the amazing person that you are, to overcome your fears and doubts and worries. And I have many metaphysical tools that have been given to me. They came without instruction. One is the golden mask of authenticity that literally peels away all that is not you, allowing your truth to come out of your mouth. And it's like Wonder Woman's rope of truth, that your truth comes out of your mouth, and it's very powerful when it's done in front of reporters. I can tell that story later. And I also have the quantum light matrix, which is a powerful tool to not only do a clearing and healing for your ancestors, those that have gone before you, so that they can then help you more powerfully. Because if they were burned at the stake for speaking their truth, they don't want you to speak your truth because they're terrified of you. But I clear that away and help them to support you better.
That's fabulous.
And one client, she saw about 400 people. She was on a stage in her future gazing session, on a stage. And she offered a program. And me being me, I asked her, how much? How much was your program? And she said, $50,000 isn't too much. And I said, wait a minute. Was that $50,000 or $50,000? And she said, $50,000. But that's too much. That's too much. And she just pushed it away. And I had her breathe. Just breathe. And I said, are you handing out a flyer, a handout, a sign-up sheet? She said, yes. I said, why don't you grab one of those? And I said, look at your clients. Look at your potential clients. How are they reacting to $50,000? She goes, they're raising their hands. They can't wait to sign up. I can't believe it. I said, great. Pause. Now take this handout was in a folder. And I said, look at the folder. See the picture on the folder. Now open the folder and read what you are offering to these people who are clamoring to pay $50,000. Point by point, read what you're offering. And she did. And it was on a recording. And she still has that recording today. And she immediately gave herself a raise, $500 raise. And at that point, she was charging less than $2,000. So she raised it to $2,000. Then she raised it to $10,000. Then she raised it to $18,000. And she was offering it for $20,000 the last time I spoke to her. So she's still getting there. But she has what she offered in that meditation. Because it's more than a meditation. It's truly future gazing. You are seeing an option for your future. It depends upon your choices that you make, but that is your option. So speaking is wonderful, but even more, when you speak, all your stuff comes up and you see it and your audience sees it, and I can help you clear it. So it's really, speaking is for transformation.
Yeah, it's
and
amazing.
How do you know your people are waiting for you? Well, you can actually see them in a future gazing. And I can feel them every time I'm with speakers. You saw my eyes tearing up. I can feel your people who they're waiting for you and praying for you. And you are the answer to their prayers.
Wow. Powerful, Cynthia. Really powerful. So I want, unless you have something else to say right now, I would like to start inviting people to have a conversation. Either put something in the chat, or ask questions. This is a whole different concept of healing, which is about speaking, which in a sense makes sense, right? That we have something to share, and our voice, whether it's, as you said, photography or art, or it's actually speaking on a stage, we have something to give. That's why we're here. And being able to find that voice, being able to really clarify what it is that you're here to deliver is really, really important. And to, like push away all the things that hold us back. So please, if you want to ask a question verbally, there is a little hand that you can raise. It's under the little smiley face called Reactions Plus. And there is at the bottom of that menu, when you click on it, is a raise hand. And when you do that, you come to the top of the line. We have a number of people here, and I will not be able to see you unless you raise your hand. Or you can put your questions in the chat. In the meantime, Cynthia, how might people get in touch with you? And don't get scared with the $50,000. She is probably one of the best deals out there right now, and ridiculously so. So if you think that this is the way you need to go, reach out to her, because she is amazing. I have seen her work with people that I thought were like, oh my gosh, such a mess, and turn them around 180 degrees, just amazing. So Cynthia, go ahead and say what you have to offer. And those of you who would like to ask a question, please ask your question. Raise your hand or put it in the chat.
Okay, and I have my free workshop. It's a virtual workshop on the 4 elements of a world champion speech. And this is the best way to get started, because it really helps you to understand how you could make a world champion speak. I tell the 4 different things that you need, and one of them is vulnerability. And I believe that underpins everything. And this workshop leads to the class called The 4 Elements of a World Champion Speech. And in that, you get 4 modules that include a half-hour meditation. And the way I meditate with my clients is not clear your mind. It's deepen into your heart and ask your heart questions about your people that are waiting for you, about your speeches, about being vulnerable, about adding a twist. And your inner guidance council actually helps you create your speech. And believe me, when it comes from that deep level, it's so much better than we can just think of with our mind. Wow. And it also comes with 6 speech lab classes where I do one-on-one group coach you one-on-one, but in front of a group. Mm-hmm. And that's just really spectacular, the transformation that happens. And I can post that in the chat.
Great.
Do we have any questions?
Great. No, we don't have any questions yet. I don't see any hands raised. I don't see any. We have some very quiet people today. This is your opportunity to reach out to the speakers. And I'm going to go ahead and bring Sia back on the stage too, so that you have a choice of either speaking to Cynthia or Sia and asking your questions. And if not, Cynthia and Sia, you can ask questions of each other. Sia, you're muted.
And I posted my free workshop there. There's a link. There's a Google
Great.
Doc to sign up.
Great.
I think I'm definitely going to sign up for that, Cynthia.
Great.
I look forward to it. Sounds wonderful.
Yeah. Awesome. It's really amazing that I work with Cynthia in one of her boot camps. And oh my gosh, I had a total meltdown, because one of the people who was also taking it was really kind of critical. And I'm not used to that, because in Toastmasters, they're really careful about how to give feedback. And Cynthia would not let me go. I wanted to hide. I wanted to, get behind the couch, disappear. And she kept on pushing me, and I burst into tears. And I said, I don't want to be judged. I don't want to be judged. And after I cried and let it all out, I made a total fool of myself. That was okay. And then I was able to give the speech in a totally different way. Totally
And
different.
your speaking changed from that moment
From that
on.
moment. Yeah, it did.
And I don't think you could have won last night if you didn't have that moment, because your speech last night was so raw and real and vulnerable and accessible.
Thank you. Yeah. Yeah.
So is it okay? I have an exercise that I'd like to offer. Would that be okay?
Right now, do an
Yeah.
exercise for the whole group. How
Yeah.
long will it take?
It's just gonna sketch it,
Okay.
not lead into it.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, good.
So,
Sure.
so this is something that when we sit in the LA hug, I recommend it's like kind of a little meditation, and you just get quiet with yourself and acknowledge yourself. It's a moment of recognition and acknowledgement. But if you give yourself more time, it will really allow you to go very deep inside. And one of the add-ons to this is this inner sacred family. So you can imagine yourself sitting in a circle. To either side of you, I place like my best friends ever. But we're creating this, right? So these are the best friends that I would want in my life, with all the wonderful, positive, supportive, encouraging, energy that they're just showering on me, and so present all the time. The next two people across the circle are my adolescent self and my child self. Now they get to just be in the circle and receive all the goodness that's happening here. The next two people are going to be my mother and my father, like not their personalities, but again, I'm creating. So something that you said, Cynthia, we can heal these people, right? We can imbue them with whatever it is that they were wanting, so that they could show up so happy and whole and, just strong and all of that. So now they're there for me as well. And then across from me in the circle is my higher self or my future self, right? That person that knows, that's calling me, that's leading the way. And so we can create this beautiful, what I call an inner sacred family, that we're just like being supported with, connected and supported all the time. And it's truly profound. I've used this with lots of clients, and they're like, oh, they could just feel themselves, like you said, transforming into, being able to be present with themselves, being able to know what they need to do for themselves, to do or not to do, all of it. It's just, you're just being held, which is, we all need that nurture and that nourishment. A lot of us did not get enough of it, but we get to give it to ourselves, right? So thank you.
You're welcome. That's beautiful and really powerful, really great tools. Is this like the greatest show? You get to meet the practitioners and they give you some glimpses of the kind of work that they do. And I really encourage you to reach out to them. There's information in the chat. You can save the chat. However, I will be sending a link to this recording to everybody who showed up today. And it will be on YouTube, and in the YouTube description, I will also include all the links. So if you don't get it or it disappears, no fears, it will show up. It may take a day or two before you get it, but I promise you it will be there. And if you feel you want to reach out to either of these people, do. If this resonates, and that's where I invited you to check in with your intentions. Post in the chat. Do you feel like your intention has been answered in this call today?
Nice.
Yeah, we would love to hear that. We would love to get that feedback. Yeah, so go ahead and put it in the chat. We won't share it we won't share your name, or maybe we will share your name. I don't know. But yeah, tell us, did your intention get answered? How about you, Sia? Did your intention get answered?
Yeah, it felt it's been great being with the two of you. And
Awesome.
I love that two of my friends, because I had this whole group of friends and everyone was like, I have to work, I have an appointment. I'm like, geez, like, where are my best friends? But two of my wonderful, wonderful friends have shown up. Actually, three. That's right. Kimberly went off. Three. So that just is so heartwarming for me. Thank you,
Awesome.
guys.
Awesome. So I don't know, Nancy, I saw you waving up there. Do you have any questions or anything to share?
Oh, thank you for asking. I just want to thank Cia for inviting me to this presentation. Yeah, I want to be out on the slopes. This is where I am right now, and it's a beautiful new snow day.
So pretty.
I'm thinking of the song, "What a Difference a Day Makes," 24 little hours.
Yeah.
From dry to snow. But I took some notes because I also speak at a spiritual center occasionally. It's my privilege also. And
Awesome.
I change
Awesome.
things on the spot lots of times, like you were talking about, whatever comes at the end. But I want to say how grateful I am for having met Cia when she and her granddaughter showed up at my house many years ago.
Wow.
Granddaughter was raising some money for the school by selling some wrapping paper. I think it was Christmas wrapping paper. So we connected on a heart level, and I really enjoyed being reminded of the heart level, and
Yeah.
that's where our truth is. And I have a rash on my chest, and I've had skin cancer, other things, but I'm just noticing that I'm putting some kind of cream on it. It's making it worse before it gets better. Anyway, I'm observing it, and I'm also, from this morning, I'm looking more at what the body is trying to tell me about that area of myself.
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
I've opened up to having a boyfriend after 22 years of my freedom.
Ooh,
I'm keeping my
wonderful.
freedom, but I have him. So I'm thinking I think it's about getting close. And
Yeah. Ooh,
the last
yeah.
thing is,
Getting close.
I know that
Beautiful.
I have fun in life, and I call it peace, love, and good vibes. I was leaving Verizon's store in Truckee the other day because Verizon's cell phone system went down.
Mm.
There was a homeless guy there with one leg amputated. And I rolled down my window and gave him some money, and he had such an amazing presence that I pulled over and I reached out and I hugged him, and we talked, and I said, so tell me what's going on with you. He says, I'm 11 days clean and sober.
Oh.
And I offered him a special prayer, and I've been praying for him because he said that he thought he would be getting a place to live the next day, which would have been the day when it was snowing. But just the opportunity to be present with myself and share that and be open. And I was not going to stop particularly. I just found myself led.
Yeah, beautiful story. And it confirms what I was saying about that there are people that everyone that we meet, either we have something to give them or they have something to give us, or both.
Exactly. That's why I shared that, because I was piggybacking.
Thank you for sharing that. And Cia, you got another testimonial from Allison. Cia is such a wise healer, loved your meditation too.
Thank you,
And
Allison.
I thought that Maureen was going to have something to say, but I guess she had to leave.
Lost her internet, she said. She's so sorry, but her internet booted her off.
Oh no, at least it didn't happen last night. She was the
Yes.
Toastmaster for the show.
Yeah.
We are past the hour. This is your last chance to ask questions. Otherwise, I'm just going to ask for final words from Cia and Cynthia, and then remind you that I do this twice a month, and the next show, sometimes early in the morning like today, and sometimes late in the early evening at 5 o'clock on the second Tuesday of the month. So I actually have some amazing people, including a hand reader who's coming on, and somebody who also heals people who grief and loss. Yes, it's Kathleen's coming on. So it's I'm getting all the Toastmasters. Yeah. So do come back. You're going to be on my list, so you will get an announcement. You'll be told about when and where and how to register. And so, yes, final comments. Sia, anything final that you wish to say?
Yeah, sure. Remember to breathe from your heart center. Give yourself permission to slow down. It's really okay. You're not going to miss anything. Slow down, breathe from your heart center, and know that you're valuable. No matter where you are, what you've done, what you've not done, you are absolutely valuable.
Awesome. Awesome. And Cynthia, do you have a final comment that you would like to share with our audience before we close?
I feel your people who are waiting for you, and I hope you do too. I hope you know that if you have a calling that's laid on your heart, you automatically have people who are calling to you. It's like two sides of the coin. One side is your calling. The other side is the people who are calling to you, who are waiting for you and praying for you. And you are the answer to their prayers. And God is merciful, and he will answer their prayers any way he can, but he can best answer their prayers with you.
Awesome. Beautiful. Thank you, Cynthia. And thank you all for showing up today. It's been my pleasure to share these two wonderful speakers with you. Have an awesome day, an awesome week, and look forward to seeing you on the next Healers Connection.
Thank you,
bye.
Cynthia. Thank you, Michelle.
You're
Bye,
welcome.
everyone.
See ya.
Thank you so much.
Bye-bye, Cynthia, for now.
Bye-bye. See ya.